Hello, hello, and welcome, wonderful women. It's LaShonda Henry here, aka Sister Sense, and we are officially back inside the annual mid-year reset virtual retreat, and you are in for a treat with yours truly. Hopefully, number one, you can hear me clearly and you can see the screen. I see you guys are coming on into the virtual building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Definitely drop into the chat. Let me know who you are and where you are in this beautiful world today, okay? As we go through our sessions, this is a multi-day, multi-part, multi-time experience. So what do I mean by that? Well, a couple of things. Number one, we have both 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. sessions. So throughout each of our daily retreat activities, we have an opportunity to check in and work together in the morning, work together in the evening, and then you can do the things that you need to do within the middle sessions of the day so that you are both being productive in your regular day-to-day life, but then taking some quiet time to introspect, reflect, and work on the projects that I share with you here, okay? So that is number one. And two, we are going to, for some reason it keeps timing out on me, welcome, Philly. Miss Lavon is in the building. Hey, Dee, I see you coming on in. As we are working through this session, I'm going to share our agenda and a few housekeeping things with you, and then we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of it all, the actual item steps, okay? So the relax, reset, retreat, right? All the things, relax, reset, recharge, reconnect, all the R factors that I want to share with you. First thing we're going to do is dig into the agenda. Last year, I decided to up my game, if you will, and outside of creating our webinar workshops, challenges, and profit projects, I said I wanted to do a virtual retreat experience, right? So that was new for me. I just kind of pulled from experiences that I've had with others. I did my research, and then for me, what I decided to do is to create this signature acronym and also experience for you, right? What you see here, RET, REAT, is an opportunity for us to relax and recharge, right? To really take a few days to prioritize your priorities when it comes to what exactly you want to accomplish in your business, right? To enjoy the journey. I love that we can do this inside this is a Sense community, so we have an opportunity to have aha moments, to get real, to laugh, to do all the fun things I want us to do. Power through, tackle the blocks, the challenges, and the resistance that is internal and external. When we had our session last year, it was really about breakthroughs and beliefs. Ladies were like, oh my goodness, Shonda, you put your foot in it. Really about breaking through to your best you and understanding what you fundamentally believe. Because I fundamentally believe that, as Napoleon once said, whatever the mind can believe and whatever, I have to go back and say it again because I started it off wrong. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's not just conceiving the concept. You ultimately have to believe it if you want to break through to your best you. So we focused on those beliefs and breakthroughs last year. And by the way, if you missed last year, you have the opportunity to recap all of that with the replays for this year, okay? In addition to that, I want us to work on your manifestation master plan. I believe that we can create everything that we want in our lives and in our businesses. And so being in control by understanding that what you want for yourself, God wants for you too, right? The things that you are seeking you. So being able to manifest requires you to create a manifestation master plan, and that's ultimately what we are going to do over the course of these 3 days that I have with you, right? So being able to not only he tackle those blocks, challenges, and resistance, internal and external resistances? R, reflect on where you are versus where you want to be. E, embrace your inner child and your inner boss, right? We got to be honest that at the end of the day, regardless of what I say, if your inner child, certain things within you are not healed the way they need to be, there is nothing that I, M-E, me, there's nothing that nobody can tell you that's going to move you forward the way you need to, right? There's a quote that I absolutely love that basically says that nothing, no one can stop a woman who is determined to succeed. But I often talk about the fact that a lot of times we, as ambitious women entrepreneurs, especially women of color entrepreneurs, we have what I call money conversations versus contradictions. We already know that when it comes to success, especially monetary success, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. We don't get as much as some of our other counterparts tend to. Some of that is just the cards are, like it or not, stacked up against us in many ways, whether we think about our male counterparts, right, both white and black, female counterparts, white, black, yellow, brown. We tend to be at the bottom of the totem pole. That's just the reality, right? It goes even deeper than that when we think about the fact that our inner child, our personal traumas and triggers make it harder for us to stand in our power and truly acknowledge our worth. Some of us, we do it. Some of us fake it to make it. Some of us take what we've gained and gleaned from the corporate world, or, what do they say? Act like a lady, think like a man, however they phrase it, right? Some of us tap into that masculine energy, right? Sometimes more than we honestly need to or even want to. But for many of us, it boils down to not completely feeling comfortable in our own skin, imposter syndrome, not feeling completely worthy of the abundance, the ease that we want to see, which makes it even more challenging for us, in addition to all the socioeconomic, racial things that are stacked up against us already, our own lack of worthiness, imposter syndrome, procrastination, overspending, all of those things, overthinking, right? I say sometimes we find ourselves in places where we're overthinking, overspending, and underperforming. All of those things create spaces where we don't embrace our inner child enough in a way that allows us to get to the point where we can embrace our inner boss to the fullest. Shrinking in spaces where we shouldn't be shrinking, dimming our light to make sure that we don't put ourselves in situations where we are finding ourselves to be too cocky, right? Dimming ourselves so we don't overshadow our partners, our men, our parents, others, whatever the case may be. Getting to a place where you are able to embrace your inner child and your inner boss, that's something that I want us to work on. 2A, getting in alignment with your assignment. There are some shifts and pivots that need to be made. You know that phrase, we find ourselves in a space where we are doing the same thing and expecting different results. We find ourselves in spaces where we are very comfortable with being uncomfortable. Just keep it real. We are settling for the small things, for the familiar things, for the comfortable things, because now we're not ready. We're not willing. We're resistant to pivoting in the ways that we need to be able to be in alignment with your new assignment. The old habits, the old goals no longer serve you. And when I think about myself circa 10, 15 years, I said I just wanted to be comfortable. I just wanted to make enough to be able to pay my bills and be comfortable. And then I realized that comfortable was uncomfortable, especially in an economy. Let's just keep it real. Where things fluctuate, comfortable is not always comfortable. It's playing it safe. It's playing it small, right? As one of the lovely ladies in the circle, love, Marshawn Evans, she has a book. It's called Dream Bigger, right? We got to do that. We've got to dream bigger if we want to truly be in alignment with our new assignments. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself stuck. You're going to find yourself frustrated. You're going to find yourself doing the same things and expecting different results because, believe it or not, you've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable when it comes to not getting, seeing, and attracting the things that you truly want. One of my favorite quotes that is, your next level begins where your comfort level ends. And there are two types of discomfort here in this conversation. One type is familiar. You're playing it small. You're getting just enough to get by. And while it feels uncomfortable, you're not willing enough to do the unfamiliar uncomfortable because you're not quite ready to get out that space, head space, heart space, inner space, right? The other uncomfortable is the unfamiliar, is the dreaming bigger, is the expecting and demanding more, being in a place where you're ready to attract what you need to, right? Nothing changes as nothing changes, right? And so A, getting in alignment with your assignment, and T, for me, it's all about taking your time while taking action. Right? Anything that you put your foot in, you can't rush the process, even if you want to. There's nothing that we can fundamentally do to rush the process when it comes to evolving into the person we're supposed to be, right? I'm a web designer right now. I am working on a new project for the lovely Michelle Williams. She is an author. She's coming out with her first book, a children's book. It is called The Butterfly Empress. It talks about her and through her character that she has in the book, being in a place where they embrace and understand their insecurities and they evolve into the beautiful black child, black girl, black woman they're supposed to be with the support and the love of her family. And thinking about the morphosis, the metamorphosis that butterflies go through to be able to transition into the beautiful beings that they are. It's a process. It is going to take time. Right now, we are actually taking the time to work on her web design. But just thinking about the concept of butterflies, whatever butterfly you are trying to be, baby, you can't rush the process. It takes time, but it also takes action. It also takes action. As a spiritual entrepreneur, I always think about my mom and how she would always tell me when I would struggle, she would say, God gives us no more than we can bear. God gives us no more than we can bear, right? And I would find ways, as opposed to sinking into whatever challenges were presented to me, finding ways to be proactive. Because we could sit there and we can lament, and we can sit there and we can fixate on the past, or we can take action towards what we want to see in the future. I always say there are two types of people in this world, because I see it all the time, ATs. There are active talkers and there are active action takers. And a lot of folks are active talkers. they get on the phone or they talk to their coworkers or they talk to themselves, and they're just fixated and frustrated about all the things that could have been, should have been, would have been, but never did. We don't got time for that. Because guess what? This is still your year. No matter what time of day it is, this is still your year, which means that if you are ready to adjust, to pivot, to actually proactively move forward, that action in and of itself is the energy that you need to move forward. So the balance between taking your time, like what we're going to do here, and take 3 days to work on this, taking your time while taking action, that's basically what I want you to do. That's why I created this space for us, for you. So that's a lot. That's a lot. But that's the agenda. That's what we need to do. Just in sharing the agenda with you, I wanted there to be a few bing, 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 a few revelations as far as where you are versus where you want to be. Because as far as I'm concerned, whether you are listening to me live or on the replay side, this is where you need to be. So, now that you know the agenda, now that you know my goals, let's work through the next best step for you, okay? Your starter steps. So, I wanted to be on my porch, and I'm so happy because folks aren't driving out, and yesterday people were doing the lawn, and it was like so loud. It's the birds, and it's us. It's you and me. Right? We're going to start this thing off right, creating a space to relax, reflect, and rev up your efforts, focusing on your money, your manifestations, your motivations, your momentum, and to be honest with you, in the process, your mindset too. Being mindful of who you are, being self-aware as far as the things that motivate you and or deplete you. So important. Because, again, there's nothing that I can tell you that's going to move the needle for you if you're not able to maintain your own momentum. If you don't have your own personal, like your own personal way of being able to assess those things that trigger you, assess the things that motivate you, and know how to correct you, how to course correct what's going on inside of you as needed. Yesterday, I had so many things to do, right? I was sitting on this porch, and I was feeling bloated. I'm on the other side of 40, and between my medication and all the other things, bloating has become just a part of life for me. Literally, in a couple of hours, I can feel like I am literally 3 months pregnant. And it was coming on, and I was feeling the pain, and my back was hurting, and I can feel my stomach getting bigger and bigger, and it was becoming not painful, but distracting enough. The discomfort was distracting enough that it was making it hard for me to work. But I knew what I needed to do. I needed to get up. I needed to take a break, because sometimes we power through the pain thinking that's going to help, and it's not. I needed to lie down. I needed to take a probiotic. I needed to drink some water. I needed to move a little bit so I could stretch and get some of the gas out of me. I say that to say, when you get to a place where you understand, in order to manifest, in order to work on the money, in order to stay motivated, in order to be in a place of momentum, you have to work on your mindset too. Being clear about, again, those triggers, up or downs, highs or lows that happen to you, because everybody's different. What affects us emotionally, physically, spiritually, everybody's different. And getting better at that helps you get better at all of this. All of this. We're going to review the mid-year reset master plan that I will be building for you so that you can build for yourself. We're going to create a mid-year reset brain dump document. So if you haven't already done so, I want you to go over to docs.google.com and create a brain dump document where everything that we talk about, all the ahas. Hey, Afi, I see you sneaking on in here. Good morning, good morning. All the ahas that come up and out of you, I want you to have a place to put them into. Okay, so that is you going over to docs, D-O-C-S, docs.google.com, and creating a brain dump document. If you're an old school girl and you just want to work in a notebook, I got you. I'm a stationary kind of an old school girl, so I always like to have a fresh, brand spanking notebook. And if you're a stationary, old school kind of a girl, I know you don't have to go to the store and buy a notebook. You probably got 50 new ones sitting in your office right now. Who's laughing because they know that's them? Whether it be a notebook or a Google Doc, having a place to brain dump all the things that come up and out of you, and then with that, having your master plan guide to complement that too, okay? Making note of your progress thus far, your plans for the future, the problems that find you in places where you're feeling challenged or stuck or spinning your wheels or not quite where you would like to be, right? I always love the statement, delayed but not denied, number one. I love that one, delayed but not denied. Just because things may be taking a little bit longer than you wanted them to does not mean that God is denying you. The only way to fail is if you quit. Delayed but not denied. Love that one, number one. Number two, one of my favorite motivators is your current situation is not your final destination. Sometimes we find ourselves in places where we forgo all the things that we want because we're like, why bother? Everything is against me right now. This is not going to change. And it can change. It will change. You have to actually understand that it's in the moment where you are closest to making a change that everything falls apart around you. I am telling you. Last time I did a virtual experience a few months ago, we did the Momentum 3-day virtual retreat. And in that experience, I tell you, if something could go wrong, it went wrong on the first day. One of the ladies in the circle, Monique, she said, you know what, LaShonda, if you're not doing nothing else, you are teaching us how to overcome challenges on the fly, because there were just so many unexpected challenges for me on that first day. I powered through, did what I needed to do, and then it flowed. It flowed. It usually is when you are at that point of a breakthrough, when you're like, ready, this is my moment. Everything energetically is going to come at you. And a lot of people take that as an indication that they shouldn't be doing what they want to do, and they stop. But it's not. It's just those negative energies trying to deter you from doing what you need to do. Why? Because when you actually fulfill your purpose, when you actually acknowledge the God in you, the God that He wants you to be, when you actually serve people in the way you're supposed to, you're not doing the things that the negative energies want you to do. They want you to be distracted. I tell you, when I am depressed, when I am depleted, when I sit there and doom scroll for hours and hours and curl up in a dark room, nobody calls me. No challenges bother me. Nothing distracts me from me distracting myself, because that's exactly where the negative energies want you to be. They want you to be in a sunken space. They don't want you to be in a place where you're actually being productive. That's like yesterday when I was awake, I was alert, I was desperately wanting to do the things that I needed to do, and then the bloating settled in, making it difficult for me. Now, I got some things done. I broke when I needed to break, and then I made adjustments. I had a list of several things that I wanted to get done. I probably got done half of the list, and then I adjusted. I said, okay, well, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work on certain things. So I'm an early bird. I went to bed really early, and then I think I woke up about 11, 12, worked until about 4 in the morning, and then I said, okay, well, get a couple of hours of sleep, slept until about 8, and then got up at 8 to be ready for y'all at 9. And so just making adjustments, you have to pivot as needed. And you can't push a plan if things are pushing against you. Because if you push, that's the thing about it. While you can acknowledge the negative energies, if you try to fight them, that becomes another distraction for you. I don't fight it. I break before I'm broken. I take a break. I do what I need to do to take care of me. I do as much as I can realistically do within the time periods I am given, and then make an adjusted plan as needed. So creating your mid-year reset brain dump document, we're going to do that. Taking note of your progress, your plans, your problems, and the possibles that I'm going to share with you, because, baby, I don't know how to play spades, okay? But I'm about my possibles. I'm about offering you practical possibles, practical solutions to the things that you're trying to accomplish. Because I always tell y'all, I started my business on a shoestring budget. Whether it's no cost or low cost, I'm going to find a way to help you find a way to your next best step. As I like to say, you can find a way or find an excuse, but you cannot do both. And I am always full of possibles and practical solutions for you. So hopefully within this experience, you are able to tap into some of the recommendations I'm going to share with you. And, of course, I want you to share with the community, too. Make sure that you go over to join our group, our Firestarter Circle Facebook group at firestarters.citizensense.com. Join the community if you've not ever been in there. If you've been in there, here's something that I want to challenge you to do. Whether you're listening live or on the replay side, if you are now in the circle, you're a newbie or an OG, right? I challenge you to reintroduce yourself to the community, share a little bit about your progress, and if you could, if there's something that I've said thus far, 30 minutes into our mid-year reset that has resonated with you so far, could you share that in the community too? And feel free, by the way, because we do have the chat here. Those of you who are listening live, if there's something that you want to do, please feel free to share that with us. Something that you're like, this is on my to-do list. This is on my bucket list. This is what I want to do this year. Put it out there, right? You think it, you say it, you write it, you put it out into the universe so you can manifest it. Share it here. Take this opportunity to drop it here. But, of course, I also encourage you to join the community and share it there too. Okay? So I am about to go over to the mid-year reset master plan guide. I'm going to walk you through it, and then I'm going to make sure that you have access to it so that it can serve as a guide as you work through what you need and what you want for the second half of the year. Okay? Now, keep in mind, outside of what we do here as part of this 3-day experience, I also this year wanted to do something new. I have the mid-year reset accountability circle also for you, so that in addition to our 3-day experience every week, once a week in the accountability circle, we're going to continue to map out your plans and work on your progress one step at a time. Okay? One step at a time. Dee says, I thought I was the only one. I know you just had your summit, so I'm assuming that the challenges that were happening for me, maybe some of those were happening for you too. I'm assuming that is what you're referring to, but you can definitely let me know if it's something else. Good morning, great rising. Love to see you guys coming on in here. So again, take this opportunity to share your ahas, your progress, and if you've gotten something from what we've said or what you've heard thus far. Okay? While you check in with me, I am going to mosey on over to the mid-year reset manifestation master plan that we are going to work on today. Okay? The notebooks. You love notebooks? Yes. Absolutely love notebooks. Absolutely. So we talked about the concept of retreat and what that means for me in this experience. Being able to take this time to assess your Q1 and Q2 progress, because sometimes we just kind of go through the motions and we're doing the work, but we're not taking the time to really assess what we've done. The big businesses, the 6 and 7 figures, they do it. They have to assess in order to progress. Being able to assess your first 2 quarters and set clear goals for Q3 and Q4. Check your challenges, because listen, if you do not check your challenges, again, you will not progress. You're going to keep spinning your wheels and doing the same things. Being able to move forward with momentum, what I've decided to do is to break down the 3 days for you as follows. Today, day 1, we're going to work on power moves. Power moves is all about the action steps that you need to take to create a 6-month master plan for the second half of the year. What's great about doing it now is that we're not quite at the second half of the year. I don't know if you know this. I'm doing the mid-year reset, but we haven't completed 6 months yet. We've completed roughly 42% of the year. But what that gives us the opportunity to do is before we get to 6 months and have to rush, it's going to give us the remainder 8% of this half to prepare for the other side of the year. See what I'm saying? So technically we're not at the 6-month mark yet. We're doing this now so we can prepare for that next. Day 1, power moves. Day 2, propel. I want you to be able to propel with progress. And sometimes clients will say to me, LaShonda, oh my gosh, I get on the call with you, I'm clear, I'm motivated, I'm ready to move. And then they go, man, when I get off the call with you, I get distracted. You know, I don't do what I need to do. I come back on the phone with you, and there were things I was supposed to do, and I just didn't get to it. I want you to be able to not just say it, but do it. So we are going to have a propel progress day, okay? We are going to party. We are going to play. No, not party. Partay and play, working through your progress projects and your productivity. What does that mean? I'm going to give you a series of micro sessions so that you can work on micro projects I've created for you and the ones that you've been meaning to get to. We're going to create a space for you to do that on day number 2. And on day number 3, it's the profit plan for me, creating your revenue roadmap and getting really completely clear about what you need to do to manifest the money you want in your life and in your business. I have something called the Money Magnet series, how you can become a money magnet and attract more into your life, get yourself into that place of abundance. And that's I want to say that's something that can be challenging if you find your place in a space where, like myself, you played it small for a long time. You didn't want to ask for too much for whatever reason, right? Now it's your season to want to attract abundance, and there is a complete shift that needs to happen to be able to go from what you were attracting on a smaller level to what you want to attract on a bigger level. Because energetically, there has to be a shift. Energetically, you were attracting what you believed you deserved and what you were asking for when you were playing it small. And you have to shift if you want to go bigger, if you want to attract better. So that's day 1, 2, and 3. Now that you know that, now that you've gained that degree of clarity, let's move into what that looks like, okay? Yep. I was like, this doesn't look right. Yep. 1.1. There we go. Okay. So drop ready if you're ready. Can I see that? Can you just drop ready? You're like, finally. Finally. That took a little minute to get through some of the initial things, but somebody needed to hear something in what I said. I absolutely know that. Red day. Ready, 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 ready. I love it. I love it. Okay, so how do we get you in a place where you start working on those power moves, where you're set up for success for the second half of the year, where we're going to create your progress plan starting now, and there are some things that need to happen so that you can shift and pivot as needed. We definitely, for some of you, need to focus on replacing busy work with a clear business plan, because, man, some of y'all are doing work, but it's not the work with a capital T-H-E. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I'm saying. You're exhausted because you're doing stuff in your life, you're doing stuff for your family, you're doing stuff in your business. You're doing things, busy work, but not the work. Working on a clear business plan, right? Being able to assess your progress thus far, identify your essential projects and plans moving forward so that you can reach your annual growth goals, number one, and get Black Friday ready, number two. Those are two things that I always love to talk about. When it comes to the new year, everybody has all these things that they want to do, all these New Year's resolutions, right? Being able to actualize the vision by the end of the year, working on the annual growth goals is something I love to talk about throughout the year, and getting Black Friday ready. Most businesses make more in the last quarter of the year, the last few months of the year, that they make in the entirety of the whole year. So being able to strategically prepare for the Black Friday season, not getting into it and being anxious and overwhelmed because you're not quite ready, getting you Black Friday ready, these are some of the things that I want us to be able to do, okay? If that makes sense to you, we're going to start with a progress report. Now, I'm going to walk you through these two things. The main thing is coming up. But these are some really fundamental things that you are going to need to do for you. Now, I'm going to walk you through this. I do want you to create a space to start it now. But to be honest with you, what's going to really move the needle is creating a time block, or possibly a series of time blocks this weekend, throughout this month, the last 8% before we hit the second half, to do these things, okay? I've been telling you guys, if it's been a while, I need you to send me a progress report. I need to be able to see where you are right now. But to be honest with you, you just sitting down and doing that is beneficial to you, giving you a progress report, because a lot of us don't do it. We just focus on the busy work and we move through the day. So here we go. Your progress report includes the following. Reflect your New Year vision. What was it? Revisit the projects that you put together for Q1 and Q2. What were they? Roll over. What are the things that you need to SCF, start, continue, or finish, versus CUD, create, update, or designate more time to focus on? It's okay. Rome was not built in a day, as they say, right? So some things, you have the best of intentions. They didn't quite get to where you needed them to be. They need to be able to be rolled over into the next phase. What are those things? Review your list of assets, both digital and physical. What exactly are you trying to sell? What do you have available to you that you can monetize? Because your asset list is beyond what you sell. Some of you have assets that you can repurpose and monetize that you're not even using. Some of you don't even know that you have assets that you are not using and monetizing correctly, because you would need somebody else to assess that for you. But before you get there, to help you get clear, you need to be able to either create the list, because some of you don't have it. You don't have a list of your digital and physical assets. Let me know, do you have a list? Do you have that list, or do you need to create it? Let me know in the chat. So either you need to create one for the first time, or go back and update what you have so you can take a good look at your assets. Record your wins your losses, your lessons. It's so important for you to sit down and reflect on that. So many things that you can personally gain from that assessment, but then also use within the conversations you have to deeper connect with your customers and clients. They want to see you win. When you celebrate your wins, they will support you and even invest in you because they want to help you get to your next win. They want to know that you know what they need. When you share your losses, when you share your lessons, when they can connect to you on that deeper level, that's when your marketing moves mountains. You don't have to give people a slick sales pitch, but you do have to be your authentic self. You can't be that if you don't sit down and document the process well enough where you're recording your wins, your losses, and your lessons to help you and also help you be able to communicate to the people you wish to serve. Some of you are not sharing your story enough. You're not sharing your process enough. You're ashamed of your problems to the point where you don't even really want to market your stuff because you feel like you're not qualified enough. Who am I to say this, to share this, to promote this, considering where I am? Remember, I said where you are is not an indication of where you're supposed to be. Your current situation is not your final destination. In order for you to get comfortable with yourself, get confident in your business, and marketing your business better, because let's be honest, whether it be me or somebody else that you coach or get mentorship from, sometimes you don't quite do the work you need to. Could be busy, but sometimes busy actually is not feeling confident enough to do the work. And sometimes that comes through past experiences, past losses, and things that you haven't worked through because you're not recording your wins, your losses, and your lessons the way you're supposed to. They say document the process, do it. It's going to help you. It's going to help the conversations that you have with your clients. And in documenting the process, you might even come up with a process that you can then monetize, which will help you with your success. There are a lot of things that I teach, and I teach it because I experienced it. I was able to document it well enough to be able to then turn it into a system that I could share with others wanting to replicate my results. Revise. Over the next couple of days, you should be able to revise your vision, your mission, and even think about how you're going to revise your monthly, weekly, and daily routines to move forward. And repair. I've got my Yar Binks Toyota Yaris. For those who are not familiar with the Toyota Yaris brand, my Yar Binks is a 2009 baby. She's not working quite like the way she used to, but she's gotten old. So have I. So we got to do a few more repairs than we used to. I tell you, nothing like a Toyota. That thing will ride till the wheels fall off. But she's getting a little older, so she needs repairs. You have to check your challenges so you can work on your progress. This is just a quick run through. Some things might immediately jump out the page for you. Those things you jot down right now. Any of these are factors. Jump out the page for you, drop the word in there so I can see. Something that you have to record, revise, repair, revisit, reflect, review, roll over to. Drop any of those words into the chat if they're coming up for you right now. Anything that just jumps off the page, make note of right now. And then what you're going to need to do, part 2, you could even screenshot this, by the way. You're going to get this PDF, right? You're going to get this PDF. But in the interim, while we are present right now, you can even screenshot this right now to be able to identify those things that make sense to you as a priority when it comes to your progress report, okay? So working through some of the things, or at least making note of some of the things now, creating the space, several time blocks throughout this weekend or this month to really dig deeper into your progress report later. And then outside of that, being able to work with me and or an accountability partner to work on your progress as well. Some of you have one-on-one clarity calls with me, or you can learn more about getting the opportunity to connect with me so that we can work on your progress report together, okay? So that's 1.2. 1.3. 1.3 is the OMG, right? When people hear OMG, they think, oh my God. When I say OMG, I mean overwhelmed manic genius. Overwhelmed manic genius. So many responsibilities, so many things pulling at you. A lot of times, overwhelm is your space. You've learned how to navigate a space that is overly overwhelming. Manic. You may find yourself that, like me, you are a person who more than occasionally will have up days and down days. I've got everything coming at me. I am a Gemini, and you know we got our two sides. I am a diabetic, and you know when they talk about, ooh, you got the shugs, right? I'm able to manage it a lot better than I was. I was mismanaging it before, but the highs and lows, and ooh, she got to go take a nap. She tired. She just ate, right? Just energetically, I'm a sedentary person. I am not a walker, a runner, an exerciser. And there are some days where I'm like Red Bull, I got all the energy in the world. And there are other days where I'm like, pull the covers over my head, don't talk to me. OMG, the manic highs and lows. But you're a freaking genius. You see things differently. You want to create things and be things differently. And so being able to work through the OMG scale means that you need to look at these things that I'm about to say to you and assess where they are on your scale from 0 to 10 as far as challenging. So you can say, oh, I definitely know this is a challenge that I need to check, because I need to check in and check on this thing more moving forward. I love it. So revisit and repair, that's coming up for you. Record, that's coming up for you. Good. Continue to think about those things. It's a list, and it's a big list. Takes me less time to say it than for you to go through it. So the things that pop out for you first, that's important. Okay? So you thinking about your progress report, number 1, you working on the OMG scale. Number 2, let's make it do what it needs to do. Motivation. Again, I could sit here and tell you all day, every day, what makes me motivated, but at the same time, every day is different, so I've learned to be fluid. Because sometimes I wake up with the best of intentions, but my body doesn't want to do it, my mind doesn't want to do it, or there are a ton of things that happen, and I just have to adjust, right? My son, for example, he goes to school an hour away, so we need to be out the house by 7 o'clock the latest. And if he's off just by 2 or 3 minutes, the whole day is off. Because the first bus stop is 5 minutes away from my house. And if we don't get there by 7:05, we have to go to the second bus stop and get there by 7:20. And if we don't get there by 7:20, LaShonda has to drive the remaining 40 minutes to take him to school. It's not common, but it does happen. So if I then got to take 2 hours plus out of my day to do that, it shifts everything. And then if I see that I got an alert and I got to make sure that this bill is paid, or I got an alert and the client is like, oh, my God, LaShonda, red alert, I need you to help me within the next 24 hours, and then things just kind of randomly happen, shifts and adjustments need to be made. So being conscious of those things that distract you, that challenge you, is so important to you knowing how to navigate and pivot as needed. Getting better at self-awareness, for me as a solopreneur, has been key. It's been crucial. So that goes to motivation. You feeling like you need to recharge, You feeling like you need to relocate. I know that there are certain times I just cannot be in certain rooms in my house. I can't be in the bedroom. I can't be in my office. Certain times I need to be sitting right here on the porch. Listen to the katydids, as you can hear them. Sometimes you hear them. Sometimes you hear the birds. Sometimes you hear the frogs. Well, the frogs later at night, right? But sometimes you need to relocate, whether it be a location in your home or a staycation, go to a workspace, go to a hotel, because where you are is just not helping you do what you need to do. Sometimes you need to reconnect. I said to you guys, I went to the TSP, Traffic Sales Profit, TSP Charlotte workshop networking event a few weeks ago. That was an opportunity for me to connect with people I haven't seen in a long time, reconnecting with passion projects or profit, or rather people, passion projects or people. So do you feel like when it comes to motivation, you are challenged? Scale from 0 to 10, number one. Number two, monetization revenue. Are you point blank making what you want to make? Is that a challenge for you, 0 to 10? How big of a challenge is it for you? Manifestation, your progress and your profit. Do you feel like you're moving forward? And here's the thing, though. You have to acknowledge your wins. You have to acknowledge the things that you've been able to complete, the things that you've been able to get done. It's not just the big manifestation. Really and truly, it's the little things that get us to the bigger things. So being able to, on some level, not just on emotion, but on fact, being able to look at an itemized list of the things that you've been able to accomplish, see things with perspective, and assess, are you manifesting things the way you would like to? Implementation, tools and techniques. Are you finding yourself that you have the right tools and techniques to actually get things done? Or you find yourself stuck because things feel like a chore, things are difficult, things are just not working right. You need to plug the holes and get better at implementation. Organization. Takes you more time to figure out what to do and where things are than actually doing the thing, because some things are just completely disorganized. 0 to 10. Content creation. Whether it be free content or paid content, do you find yourself in a space where you have, again, systems and processes that help you move forward? One of the things that I talk about all the time is my FAST, my FAST method to getting things done when it comes to content creation and monetization. FAST, formulas, automation, systems, and templates. This right here, this document, this is a template. Literally, I can go in here, change the header, update the footer, put in the innards, but the structure and the design stays the same. Being able to quickly duplicate, replicate, move forward, that's a part of my process. When it comes to content creation, for my paid offers, I'm good. When it comes to certain free offers, I'm working on it. So one thing that we worked on this year was creating an updated freebie funnel. I needed to do one for myself. I also needed to be able to share with you guys how to create freebie funnels that work for you, number one. Number two, there are times when I work in social media, but I do it in spurts. I am not an influencer. I am not a full-time content creator. So as a business owner and as a mom, I don't have time to be on these social media streets every day. I do social media in spurts. So right now, I am leading the Real Easy Reels Challenge, where literally for 30 days, I'm creating reels every single day, at least 1 to 3 reels a day. And then the same video templates that I create for myself that I'm using to create my short form content, I'm giving those who have signed up to the Real Easy Reel Challenge. You may have seen that. You can sign up whenever you want, because literally when you sign up, it starts on the day you sign up, day 1 for 30 days, right? But I acknowledge that because I do social media in spurts, I have to be able to create systems and templates that make it easier, faster, less time-consuming for me to do. Because let's be honest with you, either you don't know how to do the techie stuff, or you don't know what to create, so you spend forever, maybe hours, trying to figure out what to create. Or then you go down a rabbit hole and you scroll and look at other people's stuff, and you're trying to come up with ideas. And after 3-4 hours of doing that, you still haven't done anything that you need to do. Because content creation is a challenge for you. There are bottlenecks in the process. You're not implementing as much as you need to. Communication. You feel like you're not talking enough to people, your customers, your followers, your subscribers. Weekly marketing efforts, are you struggling with that in respect to communication? 0 to 10 could be getting previous customers to come back by again, attracting new people, engaging the people you already have on social media, Facebook group, email marketing, YouTube. Communication. Conversion. Maybe you feel like you do talk. Maybe you feel like you do put in effort into social media and email marketing, but your talking isn't necessarily converting browsers into buyers the way you would like it to. Whether it be daily, weekly, monthly sales, getting to 4 figures, 5 figures, or 6 figures, do you fit on the scale of 0 to 10? Do you feel like you're challenged with respect to conversion? And then direction. Do you feel clear? Like you wake up intentional and you go to sleep feeling accomplished because you're clear about what you're supposed to do on any given day? Or do you find yourself saying, I know what I'm supposed to do, or at least I think I know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't know where to start, and I don't want to do this if it doesn't work, and I want to do this, but I don't want to overspend, and spinning your wheels. Overthinking, overspending, underperforming. Do you feel lost? Some of my clients, when that happens, we get into revving up our sessions, because I know how to help you get clear and break up the bigger projects into smaller ones. So there are times when maybe you need to check in with me, not once every now and again or once or twice a month, but maybe you need to check in with me a couple of times a week or a couple of times for the month, right? And I've done that for clients where we have beyond the usual once every week or once or twice a month session and more than that, because they need to stay on task. When it comes to your direction, do you need more direction, more guidance, more clarity, more confidence, so that you feel like you have a weekly plan of action and you're actually taking action on that plan? So just like we did before, let's do it again. This is something you can definitely start now, but for it to be most effective, it's something that you're going to have to work on later in more depth, whether you do it alone, with an accountability partner, or with me. But until then, what jumps out to you on this OMG scale? 0 to 10. Let me know if anything in particular jumps out to you, number 1, and what number you've given that thing, number 2. Some of y'all probably say, organization, 100. And I said 0 to 10, but it's like, listen, girl, it's a 10 times 10. It's 100. What do you feel like you're most challenged with? And it's important because then once you give numbers to some of these most pivotal parts of the day-to-day routines of running your business, you can kind of self-assess for yourself, kind of like when you go to a doctor or you go to a mechanic. If there's a problem that you don't quite know what to name it or how to fix it, you go to them for an assessment. This is that. This is outside of us sitting together one-on-one, you being able to DIY, assessing where you are and what you need help with, right? I always say when it comes to help, you either figure out HOW, how you can do a thing, or WHO, who can help you, right? 2 words, both have the same letters. They just switched around, and I love that because it's all about perspective. Either HOW, figuring out how you can work through some of these challenges for yourself, or WHO, who is available, knowledgeable, right, and can help you through what you need to do. So that's 1.3 for me. The OMG sale. Hey, Elizabeth. Good morning. Good morning. Conversion. Yes, that's a big one. That's a big one for a lot of people. And I want you to be able to, again, not only assess what that thing is, but also your number, right? Are you converting at all? Are you converting, 20, 30%? Now, one of the things that you can do when it comes to these things is not just go off of feeling, but you can also go off of reports. So if you are somebody who uses Stripe or PayPal or some other sales platform, ConvertKit, Samcart, I know when I go into my platforms, they will tell me what my conversion rates are, especially in ConvertKit and also Samcart. If you're making money through those platforms and Stripe and PayPal, you will get reports to tell you what your conversion levels are, right? So conversion, I see that, number one. Same here. Change of location is important for me. Yes, definitely, right? Being able to know that when it comes to your motivation, sometimes certain locations just don't do it. They don't do it for you. When I need an extra dose of vitamin D, this is where I need to be, up on this porch. Mind you, the shade is down right now, but getting the sun. Yesterday when I was feeling uncomfortable and distracted, I just kind of kept saying to myself, listen, you are in a good space. People pay to be in situations where they can listen to the birds and the crickets, okay? You're in a good space. Enjoy the breeze. Listen to the birds. Work through the discomfort. And then eventually I was like, let's take a break. Let's get up, right? I go on Clarity calls and people are like, oh my gosh, is that real? Like, where are you? Why does it sound like that behind you? Right? I grew up in Brooklyn. We're hearing all kind of stuff outside. Sirens, all kind of stuff. Folks barking and yelling, all kind of, just what you are putting in your ears, or the light. If it's dark in the location, if you get natural light, right? Or the space. I know that when I'm in a light space, I feel lighter. If I'm in a messy, cluttered space, I feel heavy. Location, definitely. Thanks for sharing that, Elizabeth. So look at this OMG scale, rate, and, of course, continue to share with me. 1.3. Last thing that we are going to explore this morning, 1.4, is your money map. Somebody drop money map into the chat so I can see. Money map. Money, 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 money. As I said to you, we're going to have sessions every day, 9 a.m. EST and 6 p.m. EST. So our morning sessions are going to be anywhere between 90 minutes to 3 hours. We're just about at the hour, and so we're probably going to do about 90 minutes this morning. Okay, this is the last session for our morning Power Move session, and then we're going to come back together at 6 p.m. EST. What does that mean for you? That means a lot of things. Number one, that gives you the opportunity to have breakouts, private breakouts, where some of the things that I talked about, you can get quiet, get still, find a space, and work on those things in between our group sessions. Number two, that gives you an opportunity just to do what the hell you need to do today, right? You may have other things you need to do throughout your day or your weekend, and so those breaks can help you stay on task and be the woman, the mom, the boss, the employee, the other things that you need to be, okay? So the last part of what we're going to do now, and then we will pause, come back at 6 p.m. EST. If that sounds good for you, drop good into the chat so I can see, okay? So money map, if you're ready for the money map. Good if you're all good with the system that I've put together for these 3 days, okay? Good, good. Let's see, tomorrow I'll be on the correct time. Thought it was CST. That happens. That happens. That happens. CST, EST, PST. I don't know, what is UK time? D, what's UK time? I don't know. Everybody on different time zones, but I'm on EST, so you got to get on my time. But okay. do it. The money map 1.4. We are going to have a full day, as I said, to you, just working on profit. Your revenue roadmap profit plan is day 3. Propel, day 1, we're starting with you taking the action steps to work on power moves, right? One action step is prepping the money map that we will go into in full force on day 3, okay? So we're going to prep. And then there are other action steps that we need to prep, but then we do those later on today at 6 p.m., okay? So let's work on prepping the profit plan that we're going to dig into holistically on day 3. Here are a series of questions that are going to help you. A lot of entrepreneurs who are passionate about what they do sometimes find that some of the logistical things are difficult. Do you find that money is difficult for you? Thinking about how much money you want to make, talking about how much money you want to make. Maybe you were like, I was never really good at math in school, so being able to calculate or crunch the numbers, is that something that you struggle with? Do you struggle with getting clear about what you need to do to hit your revenue goals? Because a lot of people go, yeah, I want to hit that 6 figures, yay, right? 6 figures is like the epitome of what the solopreneur tries to reach. And then you go to motivational conferences. They got Mary Mary playing in the back. Go get your blessings. Yeah, go get your blessings. And you're like, yeah, girl, I'm going to get my 6 figures. But then you don't know logistically what you're supposed to do to hit that revenue. Who am I talking to? A lot of us either we're not good at math or we go straight off of emotion. But when we really think about the logistics of how you actually get clear about what you want and what you need to do to get there, brain fog, fuzz, and frustration, right? So I like math. I was good at math. I was good at calculus and geometry and algebra and all the things. So this is easy for me. What we're going to do is get intentional about your annual revenue goals and get very, very specific about what it's going to take to reach those goals. We're going to do that full force on day number 3, but we're going to start here, okay? Now, first question is, how much money do you want to make this year? Now, if you feel so comfortable, feel free to drop that into the chat for me. How much money do you want to bring in your business this year? Keep in mind, this number is different for everybody. Not everybody's trying to hit 6 figures. Some of you already hit 6 figures. Maybe you have a 9-to-5 job that pays you 6 figures, and your business is a side hustle. Maybe you have a partner, and between you and your partner, you making 70, 80,000. He or she is making 70, 80,000. You already hit multiple figures in your life. Maybe you have multiple business ventures, and when you think about the business venture you're trying to get clarity and support around, you're just happy if that brings in $20,000 or $30,000 more for the year for you. So depending upon who you are, and I don't need to know all your business, we're just talking about this part of your business, what your revenue goal might be different from anybody. It's going to be different from everybody else's, depending upon your personal situation, right? Clear? Okay. How much money do you want to make this year? Okay. Now, again, while I say everybody is, I shouldn't say everybody, that a lot of people are 6-figure obsessed. Just because I say that, don't think that in order for you to look like, feel like, or sound like a certain entrepreneur, you got to say, girl, I'm trying to get to 250,000 because you want to feel some kind of way about what you say. Sometimes because of other people's statements and expectations, we feel like we have to put a certain number on it to keep up with the Joneses. This is not about illusions. This is about reality, okay? And I say that to say, when I work with entrepreneurs, and many of you have heard me say this, there are three core revenue buckets that they fall into. Entrepreneurs who come to me and they're trying to get to the four-figure foundation, being able to realistically generate four figures in sales, period, online, generate four figures in sales on a monthly basis. Four-figure foundation, number one. Number two, five-figure focus. That's when you have been able to successfully hit four figures. Now you're focused on five figures, whether it be five figures as an annual goal, quarterly goal, weekly, monthly goal, five figures. Once you're able to realistically get a combination of four and five figures on a monthly basis, that's when you hit the third level, which is six-figure sales. Six-figure sales is not just this white whale that folks are trying to get to. It can happen for you. If you can realistically hit a little over $8,000, $9,000 on average a month, you can hit your six-figure goals for the year. So to be clear, have you assessed at this point how much money you want to make this year? Drop that number into the chat for me if you so feel you would like to. Okay? This is important. Whether you live or on the replay side, this is not the stuff you do later. This is the now. I'm an 80s baby, a Brooklyn baby at that. So back in the day, we used to have one of our candies was the now or later. But because Brooklyn girls, we have an accent, for years I just thought it was annihilators. Girl, you got your annihilators? Like literally, I grew up in a space where we would go to the bodega in the morning, and we all would have a brown paper bag of all the things. Bubble tape. Y'all remember bubble tape. Well, if you were a candy girl. Bubble tape, annihilators, Sour Patch, Sweet and oh my God, what were they called? There were these long red strings, not Twizzlers, because I hated Twizzlers. They were long and red, and they had like this, I don't know, it was very tart. Like it was this crystal sugar tart thing on it. I can't remember what those things were called. But yes, the brown paper candy bag was real. See how I get off on a tangent? I do that. I get off on a tangent. This is not a now later situation. You need to do this now. How much money do you want to make this year? Don't let me go off on a tangent. I need y'all to be like, girl. GRRRRRRRRRL. Girl. Come back. Come back. So, that's the first question I need you to think about, okay? Four-figure foundation. Absolutely. I love the four-figure foundation conversation. $35K in the last 6 months. I love that. $35K in the last 6 months. $50K for the second half of the year. I love that. I got my figure. I'm going to go for the gusto and start with five figures. I'll write down the exact number here in my journal. I love it, okay? So you guys are thinking about it, being about it, you're writing it down. You are working towards the first part of the prep. This is just prep, by the way. Because, baby, your mind is going to spin when I get you in the full profit plan on day number 3. But it's going to spin for a minute, then you're going to get clear, okay? First, you're going to be like, woo, girl. What you got? What you got? What you got me doing? This is a roller coaster, but trust me, you will enjoy the ride. Once you get to the other side, you will enjoy the ride. The next question is, how much do you need to make to reach that revenue goal? So some of you mentioned your goal, and you already said what you want, not for the year, but for the second half, for the next 6 months. I actually want you to have a bigger number. So not just your 6 months goal, because we're going to talk about that. I want you to have an annual goal, okay? So I love that you said 6 months, because that was not the question that I asked. I said, how much do you want to make in its entirety this year? So technically, for some of y'all, I need you to readjust that number. I like that you have your 6 month number. Trust, we're going to come back to that. But I really want your 12-month number, number one, right? Because in order for us to break this thing all the way down limbo style, we need to look at your 12-month number. It's very important that it's not the 6 months. Because some of you who are in an existing business and you're making money, I need the 12-month number. Who is actually making money right now in your business? Say me. If you actually are generating sales, I don't care if it was $1, because $1 is real money. A dollar, a pound, a pesos, it's real money, honey. We just want to maximize it and make it grow. It's a seed, and it grows, right? We need to be able to assess what you've made. That does not get neglected. We don't just throw it away. We don't just go, ooh, okay, LaShonda, I'm going to forget everything that happened in the last 5 months, follow what LaShonda says, and just push forward. Nope, we need to assess what you've been doing. I need your annual number first. Number 2, how much do you need to make to reach your revenue goal? Well, that is going to require us to look at the MWD equation. What's that? Well, that's your monthly, weekly, daily equation. Okay, here's the formula. Do you first have a 12-month number? It should include your 6 months. Do you have a 12-month overall number? Now, if you go, LaShonda, I'm going to keep it real. If I just, whatever, some of you gave me a 6-month number. If you would be happy with that as your annual goal, fine. If your number you just gave me encompasses what you want just for the year, or maybe you want to add on an extra $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 to that and say, I would be happy if this was my annual number for this. Because again, keep in mind, this is not for some of you, this is not your only income source, right? So that number doesn't have to be $250,000. We ain't trying to impress nobody here. In order for this to really work for you, you got to keep it real. Okay? Okay, 100K for the year. Okay, so you're looking at not just your desired 6-month goal, but your 12-month goal. Okay, that's what I want to see. Now, let's do the MWD equation. First thing is, in order to figure out how much you need to make on average every month, we have to do the following. We're going to take your ARG, the ARG is your annual revenue goal, and divide that by 12. So if you said 100,000, divide 100,000 by 12. Now, everybody's got a calculator on their smartphone. If you don't have one, get the app or go on Google. Literally, you could put equations into Google, and Google will bring up a calculator for you. Thank you, and you're welcome. Sometimes when I don't have my my calculator app on handy, I just use the Google one. So take your annual revenue goal, divide that by 12. Did everybody do that yet? Yes? Whatever your annual goal is, divide it by 12 and let me know what that number is. Put that in the chat. Then the next thing that you have to do is take that 12-month breakdown, that number. So we all know this. Anybody who talks about 6-figure sales knows that you have to make $8,000 roughly, like a little over $8,000, right? Roughly every month to hit 6 figures, like 8,300, 3333333, some crazy number like that. Right? That's basically what you would have to make every month. So, but for easy math, if you made $9K a month on average every month, you would hit 6 figures for the year. Right? In order to get your weekly, then you would have to take the monthly number, 8K, 9K, whatever that is, divided by 4. On average, it's 4 weeks in a year. Now, keep in mind, some months have 5 weeks. Okay, we're not going to get overly technical. For the most part, it's 4. So take the monthly revenue goal and divide that by 4. So you can get your weekly, how much you have to make on average. Not exactly. The world is not an exact science. But on average, you need to hit that number to hit your goals or stay on track. Then your daily goal is going to equal your WRG, which is the weekly revenue goal, divided by 7. So Let's get the calculator out real quick. Let's say for easy math, your annual goal is $60,000. Okay, let's say I want to make $60,000 in my business this year. Okay, so we're going to take 60 and divide that by 12. That means that every single month you need to average $5,000. Okay, $5,000. That's going to be your monthly. Okay, well, if I know I need to make $5,000 every single month to hit $60,000, how much do I need to make every week? All right, let's take that 5 and divide it by 4. That means every week, on average, you have to make $1,250 every week on average to stay on track, which means that if you have to make $1,250 every week on average, let's divide that number by 7, you need to make roughly $178 a day to be on track. So if you assess, and just for easy math, if you say, you know what, if I make on average at least $200 a day, that's going to give me on average $1,400 a week. That's going to give me $5,600 for the month. You make a little over 5 a month, you hit your $60,000 for the year. See what I'm getting at here? You got to be clear about your numbers. This is the foundation of clarity. Some of us, we get emotional, we get all up in the passion project, and I want to do this. This feels real good. I want to work on this project. You have to talk about the profit. So, did we do the MWD equation? Yes or no? Did y'all do it? Let me know. Do you know your annual? Now, the next question here to help you get clear is, are you on track? Or do you need to adjust the numbers? How do you know you're on track? Some of you said me when I said, hey, are you actually making sales in your business? You say, yeah, me. Okay, so we just can't think about the next 6 months. We have to reflect on the last 6 months. The first 5 months of the year, because we didn't do 6 months yet. The first 5 months of the year, what were your gross sales? So that's going to take us over to this right here, your YTD sales report. YTD stands for year to date. So for this current year, from January, February, March, April, and May, how much money did you make? Now, there are 2 ways to do this. Actual versus average. Actual is literally you going into your Stripe, your PayPal, your whatever, and looking at your report for the last 5 months to see how much you actually made. And the other way is average, where you can assess, because you track to some degree, and you are knowledgeable of this already. And you can say, well, you know what, LaShonda, on average, I make about $5,000-$6,000 a month right now. So for the last 5 months, I've probably bought in about $25K so far. And literally, one of my favorite apps, who has Stripe? Do you have Stripe? Let me know if you have Stripe. Love, love, love Stripe. And you can go in there, PayPal too, the app, PayPal business app, not the PayPal regular app. That's for the regular consumers. You want the PayPal business app. It gives you more insight, okay? It'll show you your YTD numbers, your year-to-date sales numbers. Now, here's the thing about Stripe, though. Every time you connect Stripe to a different platform, it creates a new account within your account. What does that mean? I have Stripe on Samcart. So literally when I log into Stripe, I have one account that shows me the money that comes in through Stripe, through Samcart. Then if I hit the drop-down menu, I have another account that shows me the money that comes in through ConvertKit. Then if I hit the drop-down menu, I have different platforms that I integrate with Stripe. And for whatever reason, every time you integrate a different platform, it creates another little account within your bigger account. So you literally have to hit the drop-down menu. And it could be confusing. What I've learned is I go in there and I name each one, so I know that when I click the drop-down, this one is for my SAM card, this one is for my ConvertKit, blah, 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 right? Even my Stan store, when I opened up a Stan store to test it out, it created a separate Stripe account for Stan, okay? Something worth noting, if you don't realize that you have multiple Stripe accounts, or if you do realize it and you just don't know why, okay? You would also then have to assess if you're using other platforms, like if you're using PayPal and your money goes through PayPal, that's a different report from Stripe. Now, there are some platforms that they pay you directly and it doesn't go through either of those. So Selz, S-E-L-Z, is an e-commerce platform that I used to use, and then Amazon bought Selz and they closed it. Used to love Selz. But for the first half of their existence, Selz tracked my money and sent it through me either through PayPal or directly. So I had a Selz report from Selz Money directly. And then they transitioned, and then they allowed you to integrate Selz with Stripe. That was like at the ending part of it before they closed. So there may be some platforms where you're getting, your money is being processed, but it's not processed through either Stripe or PayPal, and you would need to assess that, okay? So either you just know because you track your numbers regularly enough to know what your average is, or you go through your multiple accounts. If you have one or you have multiple like myself, then you combine the numbers to get an accurate assessment of your actual year-to-date sales. That's the YTD, sales report, okay? The next one here is the YEE goal, YEE. YEE stands for your year-end estimate, okay? Now, there are two ways to look at the end of the year: estimation, projection, okay? Some of you don't have a business, or you're making little to no sales, so some of this is, well, a lot of this is going to be projection for you if you're making little to no sales. But if you are making actual sales, you do want to check your reports. If you are just getting started, don't see this as, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated, I don't know what to do here. See this as a learning lesson of how to create money habits that are going to work for you moving into the future more strategically and intentionally. So while you may not have actual numbers, you can work on your desired projected numbers. Does that make sense? If you are in a place where, as I mentioned before, you don't have enough actual or average real sales to think about, work on your desired projected estimates. Or rather, work with your desired projected estimates, okay? So your year-end estimated goal is, the real one should actually be your current annual revenue goal minus your year-to-date sales. So what does that mean? If you're actually making money and you want to be able to effectively assess how much you need to make in the second half, and you go, LaShonda, my goal was $60,000 for the year, and you made $25,000 so far in the first 5 months, then your YEE number would actually be your annual goal of 60 minus your year-to-date sales of 25, right? So that would be somewhere in the 45, 35 range, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get this calculator out real quick. 60 minus 25 equals 35, yeah. So if you were like, man, my goal is to make $60,000 for the year, I've made $25,000 so far. In order for me to hit my goal, I need to make $35,000 over the course of the next 7 months. not 6, 7. Because remember, we're 42% into the year. I wanted us to be able to have time to prepare for the second half, which is why we're not doing this in July. July is when you've completed June, and that's 6 months. We're not there yet. So when you assess your end of year, we're actually looking at the last 6 months plus what you made in June to be able to accurately assess 12 months. Okay? So when you look at that number, does that match up to some of you? You already said this is what I want to make in the last half of the year. If you actually are bringing in money, does your YEE goal match up with what you wanted? Does your end of the year estimate or your year end estimate of revenue and sales, your goal versus your projection, does that need to be adjusted? You go, okay, my goal is to make $60,000 for the year, and I've made $15,000 so far. So I'm not quite on track. I didn't make $5,000 every month. I need to make some adjustments. Your AMWD is your adjusted month, week, daily. So we take the new goal. Okay, so you go, okay, now I know, LaShonda, this is what I want to make. This is what I need to make in the next 7 months, including this month, because you proactively selling now. So including this month, June to December, 7 months, my new goal is $40,000. In 7 months, I need to make $40,000, which means that if I divide, let's do the math. If I divide 40 by 7, I know I need to make 5.7, close to $6,000 a month to hit that goal. Then you're going to take that monthly divided by 4 to get your weekly. Then you're going to take that weekly divided by 7 to get your daily. We want to look at two things: the overall 12 months and then the final 7 months. Because again, the caveat is because we're doing this now as opposed to the end of June, we're doing it at the start of June. You want to include June into your year-end estimate. Now, I realize that even if you're not a math person, even though most of this is adding, subtracting, dividing, what I'm saying could sound a little intimidating. I'm not going to say that what I'm saying makes sense for everybody. If it does, let me know. If it's confusing at all, to be honest with you, this might be something that either you need to do with an accountability partner who gets it or with me. Being able to sit down and schedule time with me to work on your mini map. So I work with clients one-on-one, and one of the things that we do one-on-one is the revenue roadmap. Usually just getting started takes about 60 to 90 minutes. So I do want to say that there is support if you did want to schedule one or several revenue roadmap strategy sessions with me. If anything here feels a little intimidating for you, I don't know certain things. My hubby can come and fix the lights and the wires. I took that, some sort of mechanical wiring class in high school. I hated it. I couldn't get it. I couldn't process, what you need to switch off and switch on with the wires and the conducting. It wasn't my wheelhouse. So I say that don't beat yourself up if some of this literally sounds like wah, 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 Charlie Brown. If it sounds that way to you, it just might be that either you need to slow down and go through this again or schedule some time for us to do it together. Okay? Now, for those of you who are here, did I lose you at all, or are you clear about a couple of things? Your annual goal, what you want to make for 12 months. Your year-end estimate, what you want to make in the last 7 months. And your month by month, week by week, day by day average that you need to work towards to stay on track. Are you clear about that? Think about it, work on it, take a power pause, check in with me in the chat. Okay, so let me just take a sec to check the chat real quick, and then we will move forward. Wrap up, because this is 1.4 is where we stop for now, and then we come back later today. So I'm about to wrap up. Okay, so let's see here. Elizabeth says, I have Stripe, but most of my sales are through SquareUp. So see, that's important because, yes, Stripe and PayPal are the ones that a lot of us are familiar with. But to be honest with you, many of us use other platforms or multiple platforms, and you need to be able to go to those spaces as well. And it's important for me to make note of that because sometimes we don't remember that, right? And you have to. Clear? Good. Makes sense. Makes sense. Good. Good, good, good. So crunching the numbers, this is just the prep step, mind you, because there's so much more for us to do. One of those things is this question. Have you mapped out your income sources and the offers, basically, that you want to sell to be able to reach your revenue goals? So I've done a couple of revenue roadmap sessions in the last couple of months. I know Donia and we started hers. We're still working on it. It's definitely an eye-opener when you look at where the money is coming from, how the money is coming in, how much you charge. These things are definitely an eye-opener. It's a part of the process, right? Have you mapped that out yet? Yes or no? So those of you who said, I want to make X amount, right, 35K, 60K, 100K, and you drop that into the chat. Yes or no? Let me know. Have you mapped out the income sources, the offers that you are selling and or plan to sell this year to help you get where you want to be? Because here's the thing, right? Let's say, for example, your goal is 60K. I say that for easy math. And you have an offer that is $100, okay? Let's say like one of your primary offers costs $100, okay? In the equation that I gave you, I said that in order for you to realistically hit 60K in 12 months, on average, you'd have to make 5K. And if you're selling a $100 product, okay, let's do the math on that. If you are selling a product that is $100, let's divide 5,000 by 100. You would need to sell 50 of those products every month, at the very least, to hit 5K a month. Okay? For some people, 50 is a small number. For others, it's like, good God, LaShonda, I feel like I'm lucky and I'm blessed if I could get 1 or 5 sales. 50, whew, that's an elephantastic task right there. Okay? And if that is the case, there are adjustments that need to be made for you to realistically hit your revenue goals. Sometimes we sell ourselves too short. Sometimes we have goals that, while for a projection, if you haven't done anything for a projection, may feel good. Want to get to the real good, you also have to take a look at what is realistically currently coming in so that you can adjust in ways that are practical and that make sense. I've gone to enough networking and events and conferences and seen some people do a lot of interesting things. And one of those things is to motivate people off of the possibilities, but very, very strategically don't talk about the practicalities. Oh, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. but not in a way that's practical enough that when they actually do it, they can realistically hit those revenue goals. They like to hear about the end result and dream about the feel good, but too many things get lost in the sauce and are missing to actualize the real good. So in some cases, you may need to adjust your numbers, annual, monthly, weekly, daily, and even the price points of what you're selling specifically to be able to realistically get to your goals. Now, with that being said, what's going to happen next? Money is one of many things we're going to talk about today, okay? We're going to do that a little bit later when we come back. Outside of prepping your money map, we will go deeper into other activities I want you to align yourself with this week and this month to work on your power moves today. When it comes to the money, because everybody is always like, show me the money, show me the money, show me the money. We will have next step opportunities. The DIY money map, okay? That's you taking what you heard here, running with it, do it yourself, using both experience, common sense, and research to continue working on your profit plan by yourself. You can totally do that. The next step is done with you. That's day 3. I'm going to do the process with you of helping you work on your profit plan in more detail. We're going to do that 3 days from now. That's the middle level. The highest level of done with you is the revenue roadmap that you can do with me. I offer different types of sessions. Clarity sessions are the most common sessions that I offer, so clients get on calls with me and they get clear about their next best step. Outside of that, I offer content creation sessions. Some of y'all have done those with me where literally we work on putting content together. We work on strategy sessions because once you get clear, you need a strategy sessions to figure out what you're going to do to put out there, right? So content creation sessions, implementation sessions, strategy sessions, in addition to the clarity sessions that many know me for, okay? Working on your revenue roadmap is a strategy experience. So if you would like to get that type of a strategy session with me, where we do this parts together, right, over the course of several 60 and or 90-minute sessions, check in and I will let you know how that is possible. It's definitely something I'm doing right now with my clients in my insider circle. Some of my clients have signed up for the insider circle, which is working with me holistically over the course of 12 months since January. And then there are some clients who did not have the opportunity to do that in January. So right now they're working with me over the course of 90 days. So either the 12-month or the 90-day program. Registration for the 90-day is currently open if that's something you're interested in, number one. So holistically, I can help you with clarity, content, strategy, all the things. We can work on some done-for-you projects like you creating a digital product, your first one or your next best one, you creating a free or a paid newsletter. Some of the things I kind of guide you, coach you, consult you through, and other things I just do for you. Graphics, web, text, setup, so that you have the momentum to move forward. So there's the Insider Circle program, number one, or there is the Revenue Roadmap experience where if you would like to just get that and have those calls available to you, that's something else that we can do, okay? Either way, check in with me if you would like some clarity around those resources moving forward. You literally right now can take what I've given you here, run with it, and DIY, work on creating your own money map. DWI with us in the community in 3 days when we spend the whole day working on your profit plan. And then once you have that profit plan, taking it a step further, working on one-on-one revenue roadmap sessions with me. That's option 3, okay? Any questions about that, whether it be now or later, you can post in the chat, or you can send me a voice message or an email, okay? So I'm going to check the chat in a second to see if you guys have any questions for me. As you guys are dropping your questions in, definitely let me know what you've thought about our first session. This is a stretch. That's my goal, to stretch you, to motivate you, to excite you so that you are recharged and revved up to move forward, right? So let me know what you thought about today, and or if you have any questions, okay? Your next steps, you're going to continue to work on your brain dump document. Definitely enjoy the replays as they are released throughout the day and this weekend. This is the first replay. Let your friends know, by the way, that we're doing this all weekend. And I have created a space where either ladies can register for the live only, so they can get access to all the live sessions, and or everything, the replays, the 4-week mid-year reset, accountability circle, and more. So definitely feel free to share that with your friends. But you can watch the replays in between. Remember, we do a session at 9 and then another at 6. The middle of the day is all yours. You can work on your breakout projects. You can send me a voice message. You can always go to the SisterSense.com website and then click the gray tab on the right to send me a voice message, or the chat check-ins. What's that? Chat check-ins. Go to the Facebook group, firestarters.sistersense.com, and then chat, leave a comment, post, share what you're up to, right? I think Adonia just shared her progress report. Carla was checking in and talking about the things that she's working on releasing. So we are right now talking about the mid-year reset in the Facebook group, and ladies are sharing their progress. Jump in there and do that too, okay? So mapping out your master plan, as I said, that's what we're going to do over the entirety of these 3 days together. This is your opportunities to ask questions, share your notes to self, track your progress, and post your updates within our community, okay? So I really, truly hope this has been helpful to you. I see here, need to make a map, okay? So definitely we're going to work on that map here, and if you want to dig deeper into the map with me, definitely check in. Let me know if you do have time with me, or if you need to get the specific session that I'm talking about, which is the revenue roadmap strategy sessions. Those are normally at minimum 60 to 90 minutes. One is a great place to start. Getting at least 3 to 4 gives us more time to dig into this because it's multi-levels. There are 4, I'm thinking about 4 because I said 3 to 4 weeks. There are 7 parts of the revenue roadmap that I've created for myself, and then I teach with clients, and being conscious of how to put that together is what I want to be able to share with you. Okay, so any final questions, comments, or thoughts, feel free. Last call. Email me, sistersense@gmail.com, lhenry@sistersense.com, lashonda@sistersense.com, whatever you got. Email me. All those email addresses gets to me. Again, send me a voice message. If you would like to work with me on some capacity, you can review what's on the Work With Me page on sistersense.com, or you could just simply reach out to me, ask questions, and of course, take advantage of our community, our Facebook group, firestarters.sistersense.com. And this month specifically, as every single day, I am sharing my Real Easy Reels. You definitely have the opportunity to get a dose of direction from me on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at SisterSense. And if you want to participate in the Real Easy Reels challenge, you can. Write this down, WHTM. WHTM stands for What's Happening This Month. And if you were to go over to sistersense.com/WHTM, you could see all the lovely things we're doing, especially those of you who just signed up for this retreat and you don't have access to my monthly SisterSense Circle. You can sign up to the Real Easy Reels 30-day challenge. You haven't missed anything. The day you sign up, it starts on that day. And I give you custom prompts, social media hooks, and actual customizable videos. We're also working on paid newsletters. So you can sign up to the paid newsletter program and or get the new paid newsletter template that I've put together that you can customize your newsletter in ConvertKit, which is one of my favorite email marketing platforms. Those are just a few things in addition to the mid-year reset, accountability circle, and retreat that's happening this month. So make sure that you go over to and or share with your business besties, sistersense.com/WHTM, so that they or you can learn more about the What's Happening This Month experience. And then we're going to continue to dive into your mid-year reset throughout this weekend, as well as throughout the 4-week accountability circle. It's a lot, I know. You don't have to be here for all of it. I do. You just need to be here for the parts that resonate the most with you, okay? So like I said, I truly, truly hope you've enjoyed, gained from, and are able to move forward on some capacity with what I've shared with you here today. There's so much more to say. So hopefully I get to see some of you guys live or on the replay side as part of our Power Moves sessions day 1, our Propel and Progress sessions day 2, our profit plan on day 3. That's it from me for now. Mwah. Your next dose of direction is coming up next. Until then, go forth with God. Create your amazing.